Well, it looks like we had an internet hiccup there. I think I'm back online now. Yep, appears to be working. Let's get back to business. Gotta love Comcast. So, a lot of times I will just go ahead and fill in background details that are not going to be seen. For example, if I want to reuse this kitchen background later, you know, Mom might not be standing in front of it, so the faucet should be there. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And the more I look at it, I'm not really feeling this shadowy kind of outline that I've created, so I'm going to just go for it and make it black. And to be honest, the entire sink feels really big. Let's round it off. Now I've sort of created an issue now. By merging those layers ahead of time, I have to be really exacting about how I erase this one line so it doesn't affect the other line. Oops, damn. Oops. Again, I think I've reached the realm of overthinking things. So we'll hurry up and get through this. I think I'm fine with this now. Okay, so last order of business is a dish rack. I think I want to move on. I don't want to deal with that right now. I've spent enough time doing inorganic technical stuff. So instead, let's do some sketching. I'm going to create a new sketch layer for the peeps. And typically I use sort of a rounded rectangular brush. And I'll use a bright color of some kind. Now I've already done these rough sketches just to get the placement right. So I'm going to fade that back a little bit. Let me just label this again. People layer. 25% with a bright color, 25% opacity is typically where I like to live when I'm doing these sketches, but since I've got a bit of a blue background in this one, I'm going to go ahead and raise that to 36 so I can see it. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to get more of a impression of the exact lines where these people live in the frame. It's funny, there's like two different modes of work when it comes to this comic. There's drawing the people, which is the really fun part to me, and then there's the technical stuff, which is rewarding when you're done, but it's just the grind, you know. But just like everything in life, I think there's a balance between those two you have to find. So I want to do like a really cartoony kind of run, so I'm going to distend the belly of Steve here and arch the back a little. This would be the hip, right? So our spine is very pronounced. And we'll have to shade the back leg a little bit just to give it some separation. The point is, I'm also, when I say I mean character Steve here, which for all intents and purposes is me. He's running with a duffel bag. So I probably have the wrong leg. I need to have the front leg back, the rear leg forward. Now I'm erasing the shirt line. But yeah, something like this. That way the front arm can be forward. Let's do the shirt sleeve. Crease of the elbow. Just mocking up the strap of this duffel bag where it's going to live. So it needs to go over the shoulder. Let me think here. Undo, undo, undo. Then it basically needs to come back like this. Which means maybe I can remove some of the pink line sketches here because they're a little misleading. If I were a duffel bag, how would I drape? It's going to be like a zipper on the side or something, right? Zipper on top. Probably want the edges to be more roundy because this is a full duffel bag. So, just a little preview of what this is about. Once Mom ended up in this assisted living facility, she developed this habit of packing duffel bags full of stuff that she wanted me to take home. Like, you know, wash this, take home all of these sweats and t-shirts and stuff and bring me back. And then she'd have this list, like bring me back, you know, necklace, socks, sweatpants, sweatshirt, bring cigarettes. And so I would take this duffel bag home, and we're so busy, we just dropped it on the bed, we figured we'd get to the contents of it later, and then pack whatever she wanted into another bag and then bring it back to her, and we kept this cycle going. And then at some point we realized as we unpacked these duffel bags to wash and, you know, take care of whatever she'd sent us home with, that there were stolen items in there. She was like taking towels and rolls of toilet paper, paper towels, dishes, anything she could find, and it got worse and worse as her mental condition progressed. It was hilarious. She was using us as a mule, basically, to take stolen goods out of these places, and she got really, really upset with us when we brought the towels back and gave them to the ladies at the front desk. Everybody cracked up. They thought it was hilarious, except for Mom. When she found out I ratted her out, boy, she didn't forgive me for a long time. Not sure she ever did. So anyway, that's the story here. This is the beginnings of Mom's career as a kleptomaniac.
Brightest morning I've ever known. You walk the rivers, think back to your home. We may have taken the longer road, but I can see your skin on mine. Sweet road, sweet road. So give me your belief, and we'll be just fine. Just for 1 second, I'll look in your eyes.
So, I'm not feeling this front leg anymore. I don't think that's very realistic. Just a lower angle. I think that lower angle would be good enough. That'll do. Let's do another layer for Emily. And you might want to change the pen color. Well, let's do this one. Yeah, better. We're going to do the pursed lips of surprise. The anime style pursed lips where it's just a bump with no other indication of actual facial features. Honestly, I got the nose shape wrong here too. I think that eyebrow should be a little higher. Yep, there we go. So we have an upper torso. I like working in circles with everything usually. Ellipses. Ellipses? Just to be kind of a... We're looking for the feeling of a brisk walk without actually like a full sprint. So I don't want to have the arm, you know, like all the way back here, for instance. balled up fist. One more hand in front here. Yeah, just about there. I think that'll get us there. So let's start inking these two. I'll get to Mom later. Mostly because I'm starting to run out of time here too, so... So if I only have a limited amount of time left, I at least want to get some inking of a person done here. Organic objects. Definitely my favorite part of the drawing process is this final hardline stuff. It really feels like everything comes to life at this point. Sometimes I do feel like I'm fighting the line smoothing in Adobe Draw, and thankfully you can turn that down by changing your brush dynamics. So when my sketch brushes, what I just used to do the blue and orange lines here, they're not adding as much smoothing as this final ink layer is getting, but that's intentional. You know, any shakiness in my hand kind of gets taken out at this point. And so this is an acceptable amount of help from my app. Oh. Come on. Getting a little too close to it. There we go. Yeah, sometimes the assistance can help and sometimes you fight it, but it's about picking those battles. Oh gosh. We have a special guest. What do you want? Are you coming up here? No? Camera shy? There's no need to finish the leg here because I already know that the duffel bag is going to be covering it. I will say though that the shirt bottom needs to hang more and have more of a flat bottom. There we go. Start to add the lines of the jeans. That'll do. I think normally I would have an eyelid like that, but that almost feels a bit droopy, you know. We need to have a more surprised look, so let's just get rid of that eyelid altogether. It's almost there. Something is wrong with this forehead and nose. It's rounder than it should be. Whoa. Am I now undoing my work? Quite possibly. It does feel like I was closer a minute ago, and now I'm kind of going backwards. So let's undo. I think it's just this bulge that was bothering me. Yeah, instead of redrawing the lines entirely, let's just sculpt what we already have. Okay. Duffel bag time. This will be somewhat easy because I'm just going to have a black duffel bag. Maybe we'll have some visible seams. Just a buckle or two. Well, for consistency though, let me reference the last time I drew this bag. Okay, come on. There we go. So last time we drew the bag, let's see, that would have been in a previous chapter. Was it this one? Nope. Close. Da, 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 da. There it is. So no, the bag was a gray color. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull this layer out and I'm going to bring it into my current strip. So what you can do is tap and hold on a layer on the thumbnail, and then with the other hand navigate in Adobe Draw to the where you want to drop it. And that is a really fun way to bring in old assets and repeat them if necessary. Or in my case right now, just use it as a reference and then sample the colors again. I want to make sure I got everything the same. Boy, I put a lot of work into that bag last time. So that means, yeah, I guess I got a little lazy this time around. Let me delete this layer and start over. course I gave it a shoulder strap pad. Why would I make it easy? So I'm going to sample the color just by you tap on the color wheel here, and then you can move this guy over and sample like that. Let me go ahead and make the person layer a little bit more transparent so I can see what I'm doing. And as long as we're doing that, let's remove the sketch layers too. Now I do still want to see... No, that's not helping at all. There we go, that's the one. Okay, so this bag is packed. It's got to be firm, not too much drape to it. Good. Let's just have the hint of these small handles here. Oh, what am I doing? Whoops. This is one of those moments I talked about where even though I thought I closed the line, Adobe Draw seems to have a bias where it... Yeah, there it is. See, there's another gap. It happens more frequently, or so frequently, that I'm almost positive that the software is trying to leave open gaps for you on purpose. Like right there, see? Oops, I can't fill this because there's a hole. So it's not snapping, there's no sort of magnetic thing that's helping to close your paths. And I just have to believe that was done on purpose, but I'm not exactly sure the motivation. Uh-oh, I am now using the wrong color for the bag fabric. Straps are lighter. That's probably good enough. I guess I could get really detailed and add that label back in. Okay. So I'm ready to merge the... almost. Hold on.
Then you vanished in front of my eyes. This was all in paradise. I'm such a loser.
Okay, now I think I'm ready to merge these layers. There's just a little bit of crunchy stuff going on here I want to get rid of.
But it slips through my time.
Okay, so that's merged, and there's an artifact here somewhere. I can see the thumbnail isn't centered anymore. So if I click on it and then select transform, you can see the bounding box around it, and I can tell that there's something on the bottom left-hand corner. Yep, looks like my palm touched down there. Just remove that dot. It's not entirely necessary to do that, but like I said earlier, it helps when you get to Illustrator and then find out there's all this mess that you have to clean up. But it also just helps if you want to scale an object. You know, this box should be tight around it. It shouldn't include a bunch of other garbage. So oftentimes when I'm coloring, I'm not using, I don't have this reference layer of blue in the background. So it can be difficult to see when you're filling in with white, oops, exactly what's being colored and what's not. So typically I will do my character coloring in a bright color like pink first. That way I can really see what's being filled and what's not, and I can see any little gaps. And then when it's all filled in and I'm satisfied with it, then I'll just tap and hold with white. So let me go ahead and bring the blue back. Now with this method you're seeing I'm coloring on a separate layer underneath the artwork so it doesn't interfere with the lines. What I was doing with this duffel bag was different. You know, I'm filling the gaps or filling the open spaces between the paths. What's interesting about that method is that, well, number one, it really relies on you closing all of those paths, and that can be kind of time consuming in Illustrator or in Adobe Draw. But another thing is it's not really evident right now. You can kind of see it right here. You can kind of see it right here if you look close. But you can almost see this jagged kind of pixelating thing happening. In fact, like right there in that corner, it almost looks like it's incomplete. And this is as close as I can zoom in, so this isn't really helping to show you the problem. But if I were to tap and hold on the outlines, you can see that there's gaps everywhere. You know, it wasn't going behind those black lines, and so the color essentially is butting up against the paths, and that can look a little funny sometimes when you bring it into Illustrator. And the last thing I want is for it to go to print and then these kind of little ink gaps will be visible because of you know, the way the printer is trying to interpolate the digital art. So honestly, the best thing to do is to create a coloring path in the background. But I've found ways around this. For instance, with the duffel bag, what could happen is you duplicate the layer, and then on the bottom layer, get rid of all the black, and then sample each color and just sort of beef up the thickness of it. And then when you bring in the top layer as just the black outlines, you know, then there's overlap happening and all the trapping is solved. frankly, this duffel bag is just such a small component here, and I don't think it's going to present any problems in the future. So I just went ahead and did the fills the way I did. But yeah, for characters in particular, I really want those edges to be perfect. So color on a separate layer. And things like this, it doesn't really seem like that would be too much of a problem. But it really shows once you get it on a different monitor. And the more you can solve in Adobe Draw before moving it into Illustrator, because then you're dealing with vector paths, and those can become a little bit painful to grab handles and reshape. The more you can solve in this app before exporting, the better. Okay, so now the fun game is we're going to tap and hold in the middle and see if I've managed to close all of these gaps. Hey, look, it worked. I'm not kidding, 90% of the time there will be like one little gap somewhere, and then I have to play this game where I'm hunting to find it. Okay, so that's filled in. Now I look like Grimace. And let's tap and hold with white. And that is now finished. Let's go ahead and merge that down. I can get rid of the luggage layer now, because now I'm happy with this. Oh, one thing I'm not happy with. Let me go back. At this phase of the story, Steve is wearing darker colored shirts. It's a reflection of my mental state. I suppose the ultimate reflection of my mental state is this darker colored shirt. 2020, man. What a horrible year to have a curse. Oops. Oh, Alice has joined the room. Hello, Alice. I didn't see your message in the chat, so I don't know how long ago you said that. I hope I haven't left you hanging. You had asked me recently if I had a schedule set yet, and then I asked you what was the best time for doing this kind of stuff, to be considerate to audiences. The fact that I'm doing this right now at 10 or 11 in the morning is not a reflection of what I plan. I think I'm going to take your advice and do it in the late afternoon, so that people in the UK can tune in and not be asleep. But I don't know, it just felt like a good moment this morning because I had the house to myself for a bit and the temperature was nice and I was just in the right state of mind. So that's why I'm doing it right now. But yeah, to your point, I think a late afternoon thing on days that I'm not actually posting my comic would be the best way to do it. I don't know, we'll see. I also have this concern that if I commit to a schedule of some kind, then it's going to become work. Which might be a silly way to think about it. You know, and also I do have a job. I have freelance clients. So for 30 hours a week, my time is spoken for, and I have to make sure to be responsive for them. Later afternoon is a lot easier to justify than mornings, because a lot of times these companies hit the ground running when they wake up. Okay, glasses. Do I need a little extra hairline work here? Couldn't hurt. couple little beads of sweat. I think we're there. So, speaking of clients, as much fun as I'm having right now, it looks like I'm getting blown up. So it's time to log out. Pick this up again later, you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Maybe I'll see you later today. Bye.